Over the last week, something very strange has been happening in crypto. Old whale accounts have been activating in, well, relatively massive numbers, leading many to speculate just WTF is going on and should we be worried about it. I also want to talk with you about why Bitcoin could hit $100,000 in 2024, as well as some really big Coinbase and Ethereum news, so make sure to stick around to get all of the goods. So first, let's talk about the whales. Over the last week or two, something pretty strange has been happening over in Bitcoin whale land. You see, far too many dormant addresses have been activating. These are big whale accounts with 1,000 or more Bitcoin, which have been waking up, moving coins on chain. These addresses are 10 or 12 years old. Now look, the occasional 10 or 12-year-old address waking up, not such a crazy occurrence in of itself, but 4 in a week? That's something that's pretty unusual and worth paying attention to. Now, it's totally possible. It's all the same person. It's all just a coincidence. We also had a big Ethereum whale moving 150,000 ETH on chain. Again, could just be a coincidence. Happened at the same time. Big nothing burger here. But here are some theories of what's going on. One, someone just woke up from their coma that they got in a boating accident a few years ago. At least that's their story and they're sticking to it. 2, it's all just whale psyops. Always possible. We have definitely seen whales running psyops like this before. 3, whales could just be doing some wallet maintenance. A very likely scenario, in my opinion, just moving to different addresses to reduce that per wallet address risk and, just maybe enhanced safety, better wallet, whatever it might be. Maybe they need some money, that's number 4. Maybe they just finally want to buy a boat or something so they can have a boating accident, get in a coma and do this all over again. Maybe they want to end world hunger, I don't know. All possible, selling's normal. The only thing we would actually need to worry about is if this is actually some kind of an exploit in early wallet formats that someone has figured out and is now exploiting. That's not the most likely option in my opinion, but anything's possible in crypto. And even though these early wallets were built on solid foundations, you never know. You never know. Anyway, what's your opinion on all this? Is it just whales doing whale stuff, or is there something more going on here that we should be worried about? Next bit of news here for you is this pretty big announcement from Coinbase today that they filed a lawsuit against the SEC. The reason being is that the SEC has basically been ignoring them since their July 2022 petition on whether existing security laws could apply to the crypto industry or not. The SEC looked at that, threw it in the trash, and they've been completely ignoring Coinbase ever since they got that. It seems that Coinbase wants to force the SEC's hand in court here and really make them sit down and say, hey, what is going on? Coinbase, man, they're out here fighting the good fight for the entire crypto industry in the United States right now, taking on the corrupt SEC, and yes, they are very corrupt. They're run by a guy who cannot even tell us if Ethereum is a security or not. Crazy stuff. I hope Coinbase spanks them in court personally. Now let's talk about Bitcoin going to $100,000 in 2024, maybe. In a lot of ways, it feels like crypto winter is kind of, cooling off now with Bitcoin price predictions coming in hot and fast, right? Last week, everybody was talking about a $45,000 Bitcoin prediction. This week, we're getting people coming out talking about $60,000 Bitcoin predictions, or zero. It's going to zero. There's always the it's going to zero crowd. Anyway, according to Plan B's stock to flow model, Bitcoin's price will be around $60,000 during the Bitcoin halving in April or May of next year. Bullish, 60K, sounds great. Then it will continue to rise from there throughout 2024. But back to talking about the stock to flow model for just a second. You see the model? In case you're not familiar with the stock to flow model, it had a really good run for a while during the last bull market, but ultimately it failed when the price didn't really live up to that 100K target. A lot of us got fooled into that, myself personally, right? I bought into it, wanted to believe. Anyway, there is a new 100K Bitcoin price prediction, which we're going to be discussing in just a moment, along with all the other big Ethereum news. But before we do, I wanted to let you know about my weekly newsletter. It's called Wealth Mastery. Look, I get it. Life gets busy, job, kids, wife, dog, all that stuff, right? But just still want to be involved in the cryptocurrency market. You still want to keep up to date with what is going on and to find money-making opportunities. Well, that is exactly why my team and I spend about 40 hours every single week writing the Wealth Mastery Crypto Investor Report so that you can get all the crypto info that you need to keep up to date with the market and an easy 10-minute read delivered straight to your inbox. Pretty awesome, right? Join our more than 64,000 weekly readers and sign up for free using the link down below in the description. Okay, so who is predicting $100,000 Bitcoin this time? Well, pretty interesting, which is why I mentioned it. It's actually global mega bank Standard Chartered bank. Also pretty big in Hong Kong, by the way, which is fascinating. Now, according to a research report from the bank, Bitcoin can reach $100,000 per coin by the end of 2024. One of the key reasons for the bold price prediction is the recent banking crisis. An analyst at the bank has said that the banking crisis helped to reestablish Bitcoin's use case as a decentralized, scarce digital asset. He also went on to say, against this backdrop, Bitcoin has benefited from its status as a branded safe haven, a perceived relative store of value, and a means of remittance. Bitcoin has gained 65% since the start of the year, he went on to note. Now, Standard Chartered is also citing the Bitcoin halving coming up next year, which is a big deal for Bitcoin cycles, of course, the increased Bitcoin dominance that we've been seeing, and the Federal Reserve ending its rate hiking cycles pretty soon as the key drivers for price action on Bitcoin. And I agree with all that. I really do. But do you agree? Do you think that Bitcoin will hit $100,000 next year after the Bitcoin halving? If so, smash up that thumbs up button and let us all know. Also, check out this sweet chart here from CryptoCon over on Twitter. It shows that based on the monthly RSI, we have only now entered phase 1 of the cycle. We are still waiting for the cycle mid-top, which has not even come close to being in yet, like we had in 2019, right? We had that cycle mid-top, and then of course the cycle macro top like we had in 2021. This chart thus lines up with the above prediction. What I've been kind of saying quite frequently is that I think we could still get up to 48K for Bitcoin this year, fingers crossed obviously, then new highs post Bitcoin halving in late 2024 or early 2025. Now, let's talk about Ethereum. Ethereum's next big upgrade is coming. Now that Ethereum's Shapella upgrade has launched, people can start unstaking their Ethereum. The Ethereum developers are now moving on to the next big thing. Never a dull day in Ethereum land. Despite the backlog in staked ETH withdrawals starting to pile up, the fact is that the Ethereum developers, they met last week to discuss what the next upgrade is going to be, what the next step for Ethereum is. And it's going to be called Cancun Deneb. The upgrade aims to make Ethereum cheaper to use, and after the recent spike in gas prices where it started costing 20, 30, 40 bucks again to do swaps on Uniswap thanks to the meme coin madness, we really need to address that fee situation. So those newly issued meme coins, Pepe and Chad and others, they saw a bunch of sandwich bots front run the hype, which pushed gas fees up by over 10x. This new Ethereum upgrade will attempt to lower gas fees by making changes to Ethereum's 2 mainnet layers, to the execution layer and to the consensus layer. Now, the upgrade gets its name from the combination of the execution layer changes, which are called Cancun, and the consensus layer changes, which of course are called Deneb. But the biggest change in the update comes from EIP 4844, which is known as proto-dank sharding. Something we've discussed here on the channel a few times before. Basically, this change is designed to bring transaction costs down for layer 2 rollup solutions like Optimism and Arbitrum, who are also pushing out their own upgrades to lower transaction fees. So it's going to get super, super cheap to use layer 2s, even cheaper than it is right now. Now, there's no target date for launching this, but probably sometime later this year. And you want to know what the wildest thing happening in Ethereum right now is? Staked Ethereum just hit a new freaking high. Yes, a new high. Far from a massive sell-off or this rush for the exits, this kind of, price Armageddon that some were fearing. We're actually now seeing a new high for total staked ETH, which is insane, man. That's insane. Okay, that's it. Subscribe now. I'll see you later.